All right, guys, welcome back. Survival Living here. So, Happy New Year's. Yes, it is 2025, January 1st. My apologies for my vacation. I've been sick, so I've been down with some type of nasty funk. I don't know what it is. Still got it. But anyway, guys, I want to do a video for you. Actually, we're going to be doing a lot more focusing on the YouTube channel this year. I've been slacking off, and I do apologize. Just a lot of hours at work. So one of the first things I want to discuss with you guys, and this is not the entire video, is this massive power outage in Puerto Rico. New Year's Eve. Yeah. Just about the entire island was without power. And from my understanding, they're still without power as of today, January 1st. Now, I did see a lot of videos out there claiming everything from solar activity to attacks to hacks from Russia and stuff like that. I just kept on digging around. From what I can see, and the history of Puerto Rico is that it is infrastructure issues. It's looking more and more of some type of underground cable had malfunctioned, shorted out, broke, something of that nature, and that's what caused the power outage. That's my research. Doesn't mean I'm correct. I got contacted by many people, and I appreciate that. All kind of different theories that are out there. But digging around, it's leaning more towards infrastructure issues. And Puerto Rico has a history of bad power grid. All right, that's just it. Now, thankfully, their temperatures are moderate. All right, looks like 80 degrees today. And, you know, it's not too cold, not too hot. So, survivable ability right there from elements. Hey, that's the best time to lose power in 80-degree weather. Now, granted, no electricity means no running water, unless the government has some type of generator power plants that use fuel to run water. But as of right now, as far as I know, there's no running water or anything like that. Excuse me for my voice, guys. I'm trying to work through this. I saw a lot of people say that, well, this is typical Puerto Rico. Their power grid's so bad, it'll never happen here in the United States. Now, infrastructure there in Puerto Rico is bad, of course. Failing, crumbling, just not enough finances on working on it. It's a mess of wires. I don't know if you guys have seen those photos. Mess of wires. It's, yeah, set up for failure. But they also have all the storms, too, that's always hitting. The United States is not safeguarded from this at all. We've done many videos on power grid and being prepared for a grid down situation. I've done videos where these substations, right, were reported on when people were taking pop shots at them and direct attacks on them, not just pop shots, planned attacks on taking these things down. I don't know if you guys remember a couple years ago in North Carolina. It's exposed. They're easily attacked, easily taken down, and it affects a large area. It doesn't take much. We've got so many people here in this country that wants to cause harm to this nation. It wouldn't take much. All right, grid goes down, wintertime, summertime, like down here in Florida during summertime, it's brutal. You need to have air moving. Wintertime, even down here in Florida, guys, you need a heater. It gets cold here too. People don't seem to understand that. It does get cold down here in Florida as well. I'm in the Panhandle. We actually have seen snow here. All right, not recently, but it's happened. So you need to be prepared for a grid down situation. All right, always, it's just one of those extra steps in preparedness. There are people out there that will constantly say, well, the pioneers did this, our forefathers did that. They were trained and conditioned and lived a lifestyle of that. Their homes were designed for cross-breeze ventilation. Their homes were designed a lot sturdier than most of our homes now, with particle gypsum board and fiberglass insulation, stuff like that. Houses today are not designed to last 100 years. They're not. They're disposable. That's just my opinion. I know people's going to be ticked off over that, but back in the day, they had things set up. Animal life was more plentiful. There wasn't as densely populated areas. You had people that were bringing in food and supplies. All right. A lot of people like to bring in, well, the pioneer days, They also got stocked up in the city and stuff like that, and had their shipments come in before they could start living off the land. They started running their farms. They started doing their cattle raising. But they were living there 24/7. They weren't working 60 hours a week and then trying to come home and homestead, farm, raise cattle. There's not enough hours in the day. So for those that say, well, the pioneers did this, yes, the pioneers did do that, but that was a different lifestyle. Everything was different. Can it be done? Sure. But you'd have to make massive sacrifices today to do it. And if you don't own your own home, you don't have some source of income coming in to pay those taxes and everything else, the government's just going to come take your land because you didn't pay your taxes for your property. Yeah, set up that we have to stay in a system unless you have some passive income going around. All right. So with that, I'm going to end that on that. There's a whole debate on that. We've done so many videos on grid down survival. Definitely check them out. They're in the playlist. January 20th is coming quick. We got 19 more days. I don't know what's going to happen. I know I prepare for major events to happen. You know, I read the reports and I hear other YouTubers giving reports from open source intelligence that something big may happen. Of course, something big may happen at any given time. That's why we prepare. That's why we stock up. That's why we train. Do I have any intelligence saying, hey, we got something coming on the 17th or the 18th? No, I don't. I don't have any of that information. I'm a mechanic. I'm a welder. I'm a YouTuber. I don't have access to that type of stuff. All right? And nor will any government official, top secret ops, going to contact me and give me information to release to the public. That's just not how it works. All right? I'm too small. Larger channels, I pay attention to a lot of the larger channels when they have sources because they actually get a larger view base of bigger, higher ups in corporations, in government, and they can get tidbit information. I don't have access to that. So I don't have any news as far as, yeah, this is going to happen. I can tell you and show you what we do here on this channel. We prepare as if something will happen. Don't know when. We do it weekly, bi-weekly. All right. We go to the store. We buy extra canned goods. All right. And I already know the comments. Well, those canned goods have blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I only eat organic. I've done videos on the organics, guys. And I've also done videos on growing your own food. I've shown the process many times. I grew up in farmland. All right. I grew up having to do that stuff. Canned goods to me is still the best option. Reason being, for the organic lovers, there's a video in our playlist. Organic's been exposed. Did you know that the United States allows human waste to be used on fertilizer for your organic? That's right. The nutrients and stuff that's been sprayed on your food is human shit. Yeah. For those that go, well, all you got to do is wash it off. You go right ahead. Do what you want to. It's kind of funny how much diseases and stuff, bacteria, outbreaks we see on fresh produce. You know, lettuce and stuff, you see it in the news all the time. And it's from fecal matter. That's what it's from. So, you want to go organic? All to you. If you're growing your own food, that's about organic as it comes. I would recommend that. But it takes a lot of time to do that. Absolutely does. Me, because time is tight. Food's easy to store up with dry goods, canned goods. You know, I've done videos catching your own food, processing it, deep freezing it, dehydrating it. There's many different ways of doing it. You can can it. If you want to can up all your stuff, if you got the time Go right ahead, get your pressure canners out, can like crazy. I don't have the time. No kidding, work 6 days a week. I do not have the time. So this is fast, effective, and works. As far as those things are horrible for you, no, I don't have any cancer. I don't have any major medical issues. I'm sick because when I went to go pick up my son in Texas, he was sick. And when we took him to the doctor, I believe, misdiagnosed it, said it sounded like sinusitis or something similar to it. Nothing to worry about. Here's some antibiotics. And then I'll be damned if the whole house is not sick with it. It was very contagious. So, yeah, it happens. Don't know what's going to happen in January. And I don't know what's going to happen in 2025. All I see is everything built up. And I don't want to be left out there without supplies for my family. Don't have everything in one location. Now, if you don't have the ability to get other storage units or trusted groups that you're working with to move stuff around, I know it's a lot of work. Trust me, I know. I'm exhausted. It's a constant thing. Yeah, having food on hand is great. I still wouldn't put everything all in one basket. I believe it was 2012. I had my house fire in Oregon. Lost everything in the house. The basement was my prep room, and it was loaded down. Well, unfortunately, you couldn't get into the basement because the fire happened at the basement. Fuse box went up and everything, I lost everything in there. I got my family out of the house. I kept some preps off-site, thank God, because we lost everything in there. We had to start anew. So, it's up to you on that. I really push food cache buckets. We've done videos on that, putting those things in the ground. Go so many inches below your frost line. I believe it's 8 inches. Don't quote me on that. It's been a while since I've had to dig one out. I've got a bunch of them I had to dig up and cycle. Another thing about those, you can't just leave them in the ground. You still have to cycle it through like you do your rotational stock. It's a lot of work. I know. Or you could go get the Longterm, I got it way up there, the freeze-dried food, good for 25 years. Stick it in a closet somewhere underneath the bed. You don't have to worry about it for 25 years. The only thing about those things, they're very expensive, and I haven't really found a company that serving sizes meet actual serving sizes. I don't. You know, they break them down like there's 8 serving sizes in a container. I'm looking at this thing, I'm like, for like 2 bites a piece? That's crazy. It might be full of nutrition or whatever, but yeah, I don't know about that. Me, cooking food, we do it all the time. We cycle our stuff through. Rotational stock, the stuff never goes bad. You know, I hear all the time, as soon as I show spaghetti in a can, that stuff there will rust out on you. Same with fruits. You know, they're in a can. All that stuff will rust out on you and it'll all go bad. This is all cycled through. I don't take canned goods and stick in a closet for 20 years. I don't. We keep a rotational stock. We're trying to get a total of 3 years put back. And we're not there. Things going on with our custody stuff, our family's growing larger, so that affects our stocks. So that puts us a little bit behind the 8 ball. We're trying to move forward and do more and more. So I have never had a can of spaghetti rust out. Why? Because when you get a 3 to 5 year best by date, just depends, it's already been cycled through before it ever hits. With a 3 year stock of food, if everything stops, no food is being produced, I know this food is going to last me up to my 3 year mark of how much food I have put back, and quite possibly more. I've never had a can fail. I've actually taken a can that was 8 years old and opened it. There was some surface rust on the outside, not on the inside. And that's only because when I was moving it around, I do remember that shipment. It was raining and I was moving it from the vehicle to where I was going, and some of the cans had gotten wet. That's the only issue I've ever had. Never had it rust out. Surface rust on the outside. So that's entirely up to you guys. All I'm saying is that things are bad. Everyone wants to say, okay, Donald Trump's back in office, we are good to go. No, he's a politician just like anybody else. He was great for the economy. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad he's back. Of course I am. But I don't put blind faith in anybody. Even when Donald Trump was in office, I was still prepping hardcore nonstop, and I'm still going to continue to. Because just because he's in office doesn't mean the rest of the world stops and go, oh wait, Donald Trump's in office, guys, so now we're going to walk a fine line and not do anything wrong. You think Russia's going to roll back off Ukraine because Trump's in office? You think China's going to stop what they're doing? You think North Korea's going to stop? You think Iran's going to stop? No, they're not. They're already too vested into this. It's going to continue. This will happen. My opinion, I know. Anyway, guys, I'm just here to encourage you. Keep putting food and supplies back. And not just that, train. Be prepared. I do want to warn you about this right here. This is a farmer up in Virginia. He got ratted out by his neighbors over a year ago. They've been investigating this guy for a while. He had some homemade kabooms. And anyway, he moved into the area, and the neighbor noticed that he was missing some fingers. He blew them off, and he admitted to it by using homemade kabooms. And they started watching him. The neighbor was going over there, secretly filming him as much as possible. Yeah, right, guys, snitches. Filming this guy target practicing with pictures of President Joe Dumbledore. Yeah. Recording his statements on there should be more and more, they should bring back political swacking. Watch my words. So yeah, they raided. They got him for a short barrel shotgun that was below barrel. And they're trying to put on extra charges of the pipe kaboomies that he's built. They're labeling him as a anti-government threat, like a domestic, one of those guys. Yeah. Will it stick? I don't know. Is he? Who knows? I'm just reading the reports. All I'm saying is watch what you say and type online. Watch what you say to people in your groups or neighbors. And that's another thing about groups. I push having a survival group, a preparedness group. But I've always said, every group, you got a mole in it. Doesn't matter. If you have a group of preparedness, people working together, you have a snitch in there. So watch what you do. You can do a lot of things, plan out a lot of stuff, but when it comes to stuff that you should not be touching, don't bring it out. You can discuss it in theoretical situations, hypothetical. Make plans on a hypothetical situation. Make sure, hey, this is hypothetical. If this happens, we need to do this. But don't be walking around making homemade kabooms and stuff like that, because somebody's over there filming you on dialing 1-800-SNITCH. So just watch yourselves out there. All right, guys, I am going to try to rest up some more. I'm off today. Thankfully, I'm going to be back at work tomorrow. I hope you guys got to spend time with family. I know prepping is one of those stressful things. Everybody just wants to relax and be with family. Well, you can, absolutely. But when you go to the store, pick up a couple extra cans. Pick up some rice, beans. Pick up food and supply. And do it every week, a little bit at a time. All right, guys. Speak to y'all later.